Hello, hello. Okay, awesome. Thank you, baby. Hello, and welcome back to a brand new podcast episode of Abundant Self. I'm your host, Jules, manifestation expert and mindset coach, and I'm here to help you really uplevel your life, reprogram that subconscious mind for you to eliminate any blocks, any limitations, any limiting beliefs or negative thought patterns, and step into your power, step into your most authentic and especially most abundant self here at Abundant Self. So, welcome back. I thought in this episode, I want to introduce myself a little bit more, tell you about my story, tell you also about my 3 success secrets that have gotten me to where I am today, to living my dream life. Right now, I'm seeing the sunset right here. I have a little piece of ocean that I can see from my apartment, which is incredible. I am in a healthy, loving relationship, feel the best I've ever have in my body, and I am a business owner and have a thriving, successful online business, which is also very exciting. So all of these things I feel like made me to, that successful version that I am today. And thanks to the 3 success secrets that I really feel like sharing with you today. Also, I know there are lots of new faces here. So I don't know if you're watching right now on YouTube, if you're listening on Apple Podcasts or from wherever you tune in, or maybe Spotify. I want to welcome you to the community. I want to welcome you to also my Instagram page at Jules Manifests. If you haven't already, I would be so excited to chat to you. So feel free to message me, feel free to slide into my DMs and say hi. I want to really know who is listening, and so we can have a chat. And also, just thank you. I just want to say thank you. Thank you for being here. Thank you for joining. Thank you for once again pressing play in this episode and taking that time for you, for yourself to really up level and, work on your mindset and also get into that topic of personal development and manifestation and mindset. So without further ado, lots of introduction. I am getting straight into number 1. And this one, my number 1 success secret is, I would definitely say, before I'm diving in, I do not plan these episodes. So I'm like, if you know me already, you know that I'm just like talking freely. I'm just like channeling guided messages. I did think about this episode though when I was in the shower this morning. So I had kind of like an idea of the 3 success secrets that I want to share with you. But in case I'm like, freely talking, flowing around, then this is because I don't have any notes. So I'm just like talking. Number 1 is definitely, I would say, you staying in your own lane. So I'm getting straight into it. Stay in your own lane. This is really what has gotten me to where I am today. I'd say, with going through an eating disorder, with healing my chronic knee pain, starting my own online business, dropping out of college, cutting toxic relationships and unaligned friendships, like all of these things, all of these challenges, these obstacles, I really overcame by me staying true to myself, by me listening to my heart and always, 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 always choosing myself. And I'm not saying that in a sense of like, now choose yourself and become like the most egoistic version and just think about yourself. Like, no, this is not the sense. This is not the point here. The point is just you staying in your own lane, you knowing where you're going, you knowing that is the way, that is what my life looks like, that is how I want to live, that is how happy I want to be, and then staying in your own lane and not comparing yourself to others, not listening to others and their opinions, even though why are you listening to someone who doesn't even have the same vision than you have in your life? You get what I mean, right? So that's what I mean when I say stay in your own lane and don't get too kind of like, don't get too confused by this noise that is around you. Number 2, my second success secret is self-love. And all of these, that it goes hand in hand. You staying in your own lane, self-love. Self-love, and for me personally, taking time to meditate, taking time to journal, doing the inner work, going inwards. That is what has gotten me to where I am today. Because I continued and continued and continued, and I still do every single day take time for myself and practice self-care. And self-love is not just self-care, but self-love is just so much more. Self-love is how you see your body and how you treat your body, how you treat also yourself in general, and how your mind is, like, your thoughts, how are you with yourself, right? Are you talking nicely to yourself, or are you beating yourself up over unnecessary things? Or are you beating yourself up over anything in general? Like, the way you speak to yourself in your mind is so, so, so important. And I remember, so this like goes down the memory lane to like 2019, actually. I remember when I was struggling with an eating disorder, and I was heavily binge eating. I was restricting myself, working out from Monday to Friday, sometimes 3 hours a day, completely obsessed about fitness and gym and like being the skinniest possible. And I would then, the weekend comes, and I would just like binge. I would eat anything that came into my eyes, basically. I would buy cakes, and I would just eat a whole chocolate cake in one night. Completely unhealthy, of course, and just like insane, because I obviously did so much more harm to my body. And back then in 2019, I just didn't know that anything was wrong with me. I thought this was normal and that I was so healthy because, like, from Monday to Friday, I was like going to the gym and I did all these things, and I ate healthy and salads and all these things. Well, obviously my mind was not healthy at all. And just like this cycle, this toxic cycle of like, then even like went to a point where I was over the toilet and I just wanted the finger in my mouth. I just wanted that all this food comes out again. Horrible times. Also, I have a podcast episode all about that, how I healed my relationship with my body, with food. So if you feel like this is of any value, listen to that. Of course, there are also more things I go into detail with. But yeah, this is like why I'm going back to this story, is because 2019, and when I went through this eating disorder, at one point I realized, hey, I have to love myself more. Like, why am I so nice to other people? Why am I telling them that they're so beautiful and all these things? But in reality, I could tell the same things to myself. I am beautiful. I am enough. I do enough. And so I remember that was also the time I first got into meditation. And I just did like random YouTube videos, random meditations on YouTube. But I started to like hug myself, and that's such a turning point in my story, in my journey, because I started hugging myself and kissing myself also on my hands and on my wrists, and really hugging myself so tightly. And I repeated, and that was also the first time I got into affirmations. I repeated every single morning and every single night. I repeated, I love myself. I accept myself. I love myself and I accept myself. And even though at that time I did not love myself, I did not accept myself, but I just did it. I just told myself every single day, and I looked at myself in the mirror, and even though I thought I would be too fat and, like all these crazy things that were going through my mind at that time, I still told myself that I loved myself. I still told myself, oh, you look so beautiful looking into my eyes, even though I had, my microphone. I had severe acne. Like, my skin was horrible from not eating enough nutritious food and also from starving myself and being in this toxic eating cycle, right? But I just told myself, you look so beautiful. You have such glowing skin. And that's like when my journey of self-love really started, and when I started also to heal and go inwards and, do the shadow work and do journaling, and visualize. And so, whole topic, but self-love is crucial. And self-love, until this point, today, I still feel like, of course, it's a journey, right? I'm still not there yet. I still feel like there's still more to learn and still more to practice. But I do feel all around I'm so much more confident and so much more in love with myself than a couple of years ago. So self-love is crucial for success. And number 3, my third success secret is for you to not be afraid of anything. And I have spoken about that in previous episodes before, and I really mean it. Like, this is really what I feel like has just been such a catalyst in, like building that successful online business and living by the beach in my dream apartment and attracting my soul partner into my life because of me just going for it. I just always went for it. So even though there were times I did not know what's next, even though there were times that were so uncertain and investments that were so scary, and I was like, oh, how is the money coming back? Like, this is so outside of my comfort zone. Or even like me traveling around the world when I was 20 years old, alone and not knowing any Spanish and staying in Chile without friends, it was so uncomfortable. But I have this core belief, and I truly believe that this is also such a huge aspect of like me now living my dream life and me now having it all, having everything I've ever wanted, because I just kept moving. I just kept moving. And even though it was scary, I still moved. And so, of course, you have to see like how far can you go? But like if you are right now at a place where you don't want to be, like me a couple of years ago, and you feel stuck or you feel like just something is not working, where can you move? Where can you change some things? Where can you get outside of your comfort zone and do something that you've never done before? And I don't know, like just move, It doesn't have to be physically. You don't have to move like across the country or like me around the world. Well, if you think that this is where your happiness lies, then of course go for it. But with moving, I just mean don't stay stuck. And if something is uncomfortable, if something feels like, oh, this is so like scary, that is just for you an invitation, because that means growth. That means that there is something so much better on this other side of the fear that you're currently feeling. And so, yeah, the third point is definitely, and this is like my favorite success secret actually, is to do the things that feel scary to you and to do the things that are outside of your comfort zone, but that that they will bring you further. So I want you to right now, as a little homework, really think about, even like journal on it if you want after this episode. Where are you not doing something, or where are you keeping yourself stuck? Even if because it feels just so uncomfortable or so new or so like different, even though you knew that this one thing could level up your life or could potentially literally quantum leap you into your new reality, or this thing, I don't know, could bring you fortune into your life, or whatever it is. Where are you holding yourself back? Where do you let the fear take over? That's the question. And so I hope you loved these 3 success secrets. I hope also that you slide into my DMs on Instagram at JulesManifests and have a chat with me. I'm always so excited to just hear who's listening and to get to know you a little bit, because you know me already and you know my story. If not, also make sure to check out other episodes where I'm going all into, my personal story of my eating disorder, healing my relationship with food. Also, I have an entire episode about my business journey and what got me to, the business side, what got me to living this freedom lifestyle. And another personal story of my chronic knee pain and, going through depression, and what really healed this situation in my knees with the pain and so on. So if you haven't listened yet or watched yet, then please go back and do that. Other than that, I am so thankful for you being here. I am so excited to hear about you and, your takeaways from this from this episode, which was your favorite success secret. And other than that, I love you so, so much. I'm so thankful for you being here. Please leave a 5-star review on Spotify, on here, or on at Apple Podcasts. This would help me so, so, so much. Subscribe to the podcast, subscribe to the show. And before I have more tongue twisters, I'm just going to say goodbye, and I see you next week.